You talk in terms of channeling about these higher forces, and I'd love to hear your perspective on just is there, it's almost hard to believe there's not when you look around. Is there not an actual force of evil or Satan, a something? Because even, there's some ideas that are actually really popular now that you'd almost be afraid to speak out against. And they, when you get down to it, they're just really evil. So
Okay.
is that its own operating force?
Okay. If you are concerned or even just interested in demons and astral entities, I have a master class that will illuminate that subject in ways that you have never heard before. In addition, I have developed and perfected a psychic shield meditation that is the most powerful meditation that you can do in terms of protecting your energetic body. It will be pinned in the comments below. When we use words like evil, good versus evil, how many times have we heard that? This is the battle for humanity's soul. Okay. Right? I mean, please. Okay. So we've heard that 1,000 times, right? All right. So when we use the word evil, the first thing I want us to look at clearly from a very detached perspective is that we're viewing things through a religious perspective. Okay. So anytime we're viewing things from a certain perspective, it's kind of like us taking a snow globe and you shake it and the snow's you can't really see clearly, right? Because you're viewing it from a perspective. You're viewing it through a dirty windshield. And this is where we get good versus evil. Okay. Evil does not exist. Does not exist. That's a religious perspective. Now, what does exist? We'll expand on it. What does exist is there are I'll use the word entities. There are entities that have gotten so far from who and what they really are, which is love and wisdom, whose subsets are talents and abilities. That's what the I am is. That's what the fractal of God is. It is our depth, our level, our amount of love and wisdom. There are some entities, and I'm not using the word beings. Those are two different things. There are some entities that have gotten so far away from who and what they really are that they actually have lost all conscious connection to love, to their own love, and therefore they are incapable of being that love or expressing that love. And so therefore they're able to operate in a way that from a purely metaphysical perspective, they're able to operate in a way that is completely and utterly low frequency, because there's high frequency and low frequency. That's metaphysics and that's tangible. I don't talk about good versus evil and spirituality and all this other utter garbage. So these entities have moved away from their own love, who and what they are, and therefore they are able to operate in a way that those that have been brainwashed through religion, like most of us, they would call it evil.
Mhm.
It is not. There's no such thing because it's all God. It's all God. We've just gotten far away. Some have gotten very far away from their own love and wisdom, and that way, that's how they can operate in the way that they do. And then we label it evil. Now, I hope that makes sense. So, without predatory type energies, like a shark, is a shark evil? No, it's hungry. It's hungry. Is it angry when it jumps up and bites something to eat? Is it angry or is it just hungry? It's hungry. Is a lion evil? I mean, I don't think so. It's hungry, even as it grabs that little gazelle, as difficult as it may be to watch. It grabs that gazelle and eats. It's not angry. It's hungry. Okay, so if we can start to see things clearly from a detached perspective, we'll just start to understand that there are absolutely predatory energy. I just named some predatory energies. There are absolutely beings that operate in a predatory way, but without them providing the evolutionary tension, there wouldn't be evolution. So this is also difficult for the finite mind to work with. We need evolutionary tension, which makes us Clark Kented and reach within ourselves and bring out the best in ourselves, to tap into more of our love and wisdom and our talents and abilities. And that is what evolution is. So there has to be evolutionary tension. I mean, we're the ones that created these bad guys. That's a whole nother conversation. We're the ones that created these bad guys because a long time ago, a very long time ago, the origination of the human experiment, which is the individualized experiment in free will. That's a human being is an experiment in individualized free will. And when this first started a very, very long time ago, when we would show up here, it was like we were all just sitting around singing Kumbaya and there was no evolution. Nothing was happening. So we actually created and pulled in bad guys to create evolutionary tension for our own evolution. So there's so much more that goes to this that our conditioned mind can never really understand and also can never really access. And then we try to take this much, much larger picture that we don't really have access to, and then we try to reduce it down to something. And that's where we just get confused. So when we have a question, a burning question, this is going to sound bizarre, but just go with me. We have a burning question about something. Instead of seeking the answer, give yourself any answer you want to that question, any answer. And then see if that's satisfying. And then see if that stops the questioning. Now, what you're going to find is that when you give yourself any answer, it doesn't matter what the answer is. You never actually feel better. And it never stops the questioning, right? Which you just experienced. Now, this is profound. Now, what this means is that answers are irrelevant because the questions don't matter. Now, with this understanding, we're getting closer to liberation. So instead of seeking answers, because it doesn't matter what the answer is, because we now understand that questions are irrelevant, the key is to go to the source of the questioner who keeps asking questions, and shine the light on the questioner, which is just the fragmented egoic mind. And once you shine the light on the questioner by doing self-inquiry, you'll realize that that is a shadow and it'll disappear as soon as you shine your light on it. Now what remains is the real you. So when we operate backwards from the way that we have been told to operate, reach out, figure out, connect with this, connect with that, think it through, do the opposite. Do the opposite. We just had that tangible experience about giving yourself any answer. Doesn't change anything, does it? That's because the questions don't matter. It's the fulcrum that the program that is running, which is the ego mind identity, which is voracious, 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 because it's here and it's disconnected from the source of knowingness, which is the Superman, which is the I am. And so once we lock ourselves in the present moment, the program stops running and the inner knowingness will start to take over. And then we create from this limitless space rather than trying to figure out within the boxes of limitations that we're running within our programmed mind.